Multi-valued subqueries are just like all other subqueries. You'll just have to see one to understand what's going on. And it's multi-valued only in the sense that it's going to return multiple values back to us. So let's take a look at one of these. I'm going to do a select statement. And first of all, keep in mind the code's out there in the working files folder for all these examples. And you'll notice we're in the SQL Server Management Studio and we're pointed at the AdventureWorks 2012 database. Now we've got a kind of a strange request, but you get these all the time for data extraction requests out there in the real world. We want to know the business entity IDs for salespersons that have the title of Mr. in the database. For some reason, we're trying to get all of these titles straightened out. So I'm going to select, and notice I'm going to go ahead and set up my tables first that I'm going to use. Human resources.employee is that table, and I'll go ahead and alias them. Now I can come up here and it's a little easier to put these in. So just a little bit of pre-planning, and it makes this a whole lot easier. And let me come down here and find title. And then we're going to obviously get first name and then P last name. So notice how you can use IntelliSense there to make that much, much easier. And so now we're going to join on P business entity ID, or the person business entity ID, equals the E, or the employee table business entity ID. Then we got to put a where clause, where title equals Mr. Got to get the period in there. And so if we run this, we'll highlight it all so we know exactly what we're running. Notice you get these business entity IDs back and you get the people here. Let's clear that off and let's come down here and think about how could we write this as a subquery. And so let's do that. I will come right here and we're going to do our select again. And I'm going to do from Human Resources, Employee, and we'll make that an E. And I want you to notice what's going to happen here. We're just going to get E, Business Entity ID, and that's all we're going to get. We're going to make it simple here. And we're going to do where E, Business Entity ID, is in a list. We're going to supply that list with a select statement. A subquery select statement. We're going to get the business entity ID from person, because that's where that title is, where title equals Mr. And then we'll close our parentheses. Notice when we execute this, we get our business entity IDs. Now, all we wanted was the business entity ID. We kind of threw in title, first name, and last name up here to make it a little more interesting and the same. But we could take these out, and then, let me take this away. We could execute just this one, and there we are. We've got our 5. Or we could run our multi-valued subquery. Same results. Okay, again, totally up to you, whichever one you're comfortable with. And again, I would strongly encourage you to run this by using SQL Profiler or the SQL Server Extended Events and look at the performance between these two. And a lot of times it will surprise you how close they are, if not almost identical. And then other times, again, it will surprise you that one of them is way less efficient than the other. Okay, but the main thing I want you to see here is how this particular subquery works, and it's your choice on which one you think is more valuable for readability, for efficiency. And again, a lot of times this turns into, did I grow up in T-SQL learning the join statement, or did I grow up learning subqueries? So anyway, your choice, go play with these, but that is what a multi-valued subquery looks like.